I'm always waiting for that strange paranormal thing to happen to me because I just didn't believe in that kind of stuff. It sounded too far fetched, but I really wanted to believe. My friend Zara and I are horror fanatics, even after things that happened to us 8 years ago. We were 14, loved scary movies, and playing scary video games. One of my friends, Angela, had a favorite game called Fatal Frame, and she had played it some time ago, but it was a rented copy, so she couldn't show it to us. We, however, went to Blockbuster. Hey, remember those? I tried to find the game. They didn't have it, but they did have Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. Angela and I were immediately attracted to its beautiful cover. Creepy, with dark two identical girls with long black hair and a red rope tied to their kimonos, linking them together. There were candles and red butterflies in the background, and the image was bordered what looked like red paint strokes. We rented it and very excited to play. I was staying with Angela because my parents went on vacation to France for 4 weeks. We invited our friend Sarah to spend the night. Sarah was also excited to see the game, even though she wasn't really as brave as us. For the lack of a better word, she was pretty late at night, for it was the summer, and we didn't care about sleeping late in the mornings. As I popped the disc into her PlayStation 2, Angela read the back of the case and we laughed. "What?" I asked. She showed me the back of one of those cases. It said, "Warning, don't play this game alone." She replied. Sarah and I just laughed. "I'm gonna enjoy this," I said excitedly. Sarah and I were in Angela's audience, for she was the best in horror games. I really enjoy watching people play video games, even as much as I enjoy playing them myself. Sarah was sitting on Angela's bed, and Angela and I were sitting on the floor right next in front of the TV. I know, bad for your eyes, yada yada yada. We played throughout the night. At some point we got lost and we had to look up a walkthrough. We didn't like doing that, but sometimes you just gotta. We reached a ghost called the Kusubi, which is summoned by Sei, one of the ghost twins, who looked just like Malo and Mao. We learned the hard way that we couldn't defeat Kusubi at all. He wouldn't take damage, and guess what? He killed us in one hit. So we had to start again from the save point, to which it was found in front of that door that led us to Kusubi's room. Now, I'll need to tell you that Angela's PS2 had been sent to a lot of action, meaning it was getting old and frequently caused discs to either freeze or load very slowly. So upon entering Kusubi's room, the game froze and completely black loading screen. We waited for a few minutes. We finally realized that we were going to be waiting for a long time. So at least a half an hour where Angela and Sarah and I were talking about stupid crap like all teenagers do. When Angela wanted to get up to get a snack, I loved her to death, but the truth was, she wasn't exactly skinny. She was actually quite heavy. So what she did to stand up was put both hands behind her, resting on the edge of the bed, and pushed herself up. She ended up getting some of the odd twisting thing that amused Sarah and I, so we asked her to try it again. She sat back down on the floor and was about to repeat the action when she stared at the TV horrified. "What's wrong?" I asked her. "I just saw a face on the TV," she said quietly. When Angela was scared, she rarely screams. I do, however, and so does Sarah. Anyway, we looked at the TV and saw nothing but a black screen. "You must be smoking something," I joked. None of us did drugs, of course, but we would say things like that just for laughs. "Just watch. Maybe it'll happen again," Angela said. Sarah moved to the end of the bed where we were sitting and held on to us. Then we stared, and a frighteningly white ghostly face faded into view on the screen. It was a woman with a sunken face, and the eyes were dark and lifeless. Her hair was black, stringy, and was sticking against the odd angles. There was no blood on her, but her face alone was disturbing enough without it. All three of us screamed, including Angela, and we flashed out of the room, shutting the bedroom door behind us. Sitting on the living room couch, we were completely petrified and silent. None of us had really seen the real ghost, but it was an actual ghost. Or was it part of the game? I ran by the girls. It's a ghost game, I whispered. Maybe the game unfroze, but it was left long enough for some sort of screensaver to show. Video games don't usually have screensavers, Sarah said, trembling. That was something. Oh God, that was something. Calm down, maybe Sam's right, Angela said. Let's go check on the game. I'm not going back in there, Sarah exclaimed. Fine, said Angela, sounding annoyed. I'll go. She went back down to the short hallway to her room. After a few seconds, she called out, It's okay, the game's unfroze. Sarah and I slowly entered the room, looking at the screen. Mayo and Mayu were standing next to the red lantern, to which was a save point. I exhaled softly. Let's play something else, I suggested. The other twos agreed. Angela took out the Fatal Game 2 disc and replaced it with The Sims 2. We played it for some time, trying to see whose character would last longer without a shower. While Sarah watched from the bed again, then one of my goals was to change clothes. So I went to the dresser. It loaded slowly, but eventually got there. I put my alien girl into something sexy, and then exited and we waited, watching a familiar screen saying, Saving game, please do not turn off console or disconnect controller. This honestly took forever. Angela started complaining about her piece of shit PlayStation when the screen suddenly started to flicker. Aw, don't tell me the TV's going out too, she exclaimed. She turned to completely black and the Sims 2 background music began skipping like an extremely scratched disc. And then to our horror, the same ghostly face appeared right before our eyes. I couldn't breathe. No, Sarah said weakly. No. Oh, no. She was letting out terrified squeaks and we stared, unable to take our eyes off the face. The ghost's eyes slowly looked right at us and then began to move her lips, as if speaking through, but no words came out. Angela jabbed the power button, turning off the TV, and all three of us ran to the living room again. All of us agreed to sleep out there instead of the room. We just couldn't handle being there. It was unbelievable. We had trouble sleeping. Finally, somehow we managed it. We slept until 1 o'clock in the morning. Angela's mother complained about the noise last night and wondered why the hell we slept in the living room. Angela was about to tell her what happened when we suddenly noticed that Sarah was gone. Maybe she went home in the middle of the night, I suggested. Let's go check, Angela said. We got properly dressed and left the house, and they made our way down the road. Sarah didn't live too far away, and we knocked on the door, and her mom answered. Is Sarah here? I asked. No, I thought she spent the night at your house, said her mother. Angela and I exchanged worried looks and hurried back to her house. We searched every room including Angela's, but Sarah was nowhere to be found. The police were called and they conducted a search. Angela and I spent a few days trying to get a hold of our other friends to check to see if they'd seen her, but no one had. Her mother was a wreck, but the police assured that they'd find Sarah. Should we tell them what happened? I asked. Sam, do you really think they would believe that we saw a ghost? She said angrily. I don't know what we should do, okay? What the hell happened? Why did that ghost showed up? Maybe it was a game, I said softly. A haunted horror game? How often do you hear about those? It's usually completely innocent games like Majora's Mask or Sonic the Hedgehog. I can't think of anything else that it could be. Let's go look at the other copies at Blockbuster and have the same warning at the back cover, said Angela. We took the game with us so we can return it. After dropping it in the return slot, we went over to the other copies. Each one said, Warning, do not play this game alone. Well, that's not it, I said. Did we just get a haunted copy or something? I don't know, said Angela. But it appears to be when playing The Sims, so it must have transferred onto my PS2, that bitch. What should we do? I asked timidly. We should go around the internet and see if anyone has seen her too, Angela replied. Returning to her house, we immediately hopped onto the computer and feverishly looked up at Fatal Frame forums for any hint of a haunted copy. We absolutely found nothing. We decided to create an account on one of the forums to post in a new thread. Hi, my friends and I had recently rented Fatal 2 Frame for the PS2, and something really strange happened. My crappy PS2 froze, and after a while, we saw a ghost woman on the screen. We thought it was part of the game, but while we were playing The Sims 2, she showed up again, and now one of her friends is missing, and we don't know what to do. Has anyone else experienced this? How's that? Angela said after she finished writing the post. Sounds good, but I fixed all the spelling and punctuation errors in the post and then submitted it. We actually sat there and refreshed it like every 10 minutes. We only got replies saying, "You're BSing," or "It's just a freaking ghost game." There wasn't until we finally got a response. Sarah was still missing, so she was put on Amber Alert. We checked the forum again and got a response from someone named AnonomOuSsam, and they had no icon. "Hello, I saw your post and was shocked. This happened a long time ago, but I rented my copy from GameStop. After seeing the ghost woman on my screen, I tried playing the other games, but no matter which game I put in, she would always appear. I took the game back thinking that would help, but it didn't. I then looked back at my memory card and saw that every single save icon for every game was just a black box. Then she appeared again, without even being in the game. I deleted Fatal Frame 2 data, but that didn't keep her away. I got a new memory card and transferred all my data onto it, but then it didn't help. It just seemed like the ghost had finally infected the game's data completely. So I tried erasing all the game's data with both cards, which was really sad because I had a lot of Final Fantasy on there, and those games are long. I tried playing another game, but she still appeared. I was so scared and frustrated, I took both memory cards and smashed them with a hammer. They screamed at me. I was so shocked, but when I tried my game again, I played for a few hours without any appearance of the ghost. I know it was hard for any gamer to lose their saved data, but there's no other way. You have to destroy your memory card. That ghost is like a virus or something, spreading itself through that disk. God knows how many people have gotten it. I don't know why she's in that disk, and I don't care. Just as long as I never see her again, I'm never renting another game. I'll at least buy it if I want to play it so bad. Sincerely, a friend. Angela and I stared at the response, which had so many received rude comments. We went to her room and turned on the PS2, checked her memory card. Just as Anonymous said, every icon of the saved data was jet black, three-dimensional cube, spinning slowly in their places. Just then the ghost woman faded into the screen, causing it to flicker with static. "What do you want?" I asked the face, scared to the point that I started crying. The ghost moved her lips again, but we heard nothing. We even tried turning up the volume, but that didn't make a difference. "Why are you here?" asked Angela, much more brave than she was. The woman contained a mouth, but nothing. "Let's just forget it," I said, starting to feel a little hysterical. "Let's just destroy the damn card." Angela turned off the console, ripped the memory card off. Then we went to the tool shed in the backyard, and she found a hammer. Angela sat it on the concrete of the back porch, raised a hammer, and hit the card viciously once, twice, 3 times. A piercing scream emanated from the cartridge as it was broken. "I think," said Angela, shaking and taking this shuddering breaths, "I think that will do it." "What's that?" I gasped, seeing a piece of memory card that appeared to have stretches on it. It was a circuit that allowed the card to hold data. We found all the pieces and fit them together like a puzzle, and it was astounded that what we found. Anonymous was the word scratched on the surface of the circuit. It was the ghost who had replied to the thread we made? Why would she tell us how to destroy her? "Sam, look," Sarah said Angela. She was pointing at the S rented on it. In tiny letters was the name Sarah scratched on it. "They took Sarah," I whispered. "Why?" said Angela. "And it was the ghost who responded to us, or was it Sarah?" We went back inside and got on the computer viewing our posts. Anonymous reply was no longer there, and the entire thread had been locked. We searched Google for the mysterious username, but we got absolutely nothing. I'm sorry to say we never found who that ghost was, who Anonymous was, or where Sarah went. Like I said before, this really happened to us, and we never touched a rental game ever again. Ever this day, we still try to find that username, but we can't never find it. Maybe you guys have seen it before? And every day I wonder who rented that disc. I wonder if they figured out how to destroy it, and what would have happened if they didn't. That was a ghost woman trying to tell us? We never found that out either. We never found a game or anything. Why was that fatal frame and not something else? How did she die? That was there her connection to the game? Angela ran an idea by me. She said that her first fatal game was based off a true story. She said, what if the second one had some truth to it too? What if the ghost was really in that village long ago? But why would she haunt that specific copy? I asked. Maybe so she can be in one disc? Gets into the memory card? She suggested. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on in the ghost's head. With that, we stopped discussing the matter. I just wanted to forget about it, but I couldn't. About a year and a half ago, Angela started doing drugs and become a whole different person, lying and using me for her older of her friends, so I ditched her. I hate druggies with a passion. I have no idea what happened to her, but every now and then I see her mom come into my work. I never asked about her. Without a word, my mind voluntarily started remembering the events that had taken place 8 years ago, and that's why I'm writing this. You may not believe me. You may refuse to believe me, but I want to warn you to be careful when renting a game, especially Fatal Frame 2. I know it's kind of hard to find a PS2 games now anyway, especially since they announced PS4, but some places have old or used copies, so just be careful. Since we've figured out what that ghost wanted and never figure it out, I can't warn you of specific dangers, but it's best to avoid it anyway. You can never be too careful. And now, even though I've never seen another ghost, I can't still say I don't believe them. I'm still a horror fanatic, but I can't help looking over my shoulder periodically. Now I'm being repetitive, but I'm serious. Be careful, please.